It's the time to get down.
Hey, oh yes, I am blessed. Oh yes, I'm blessed, I'm blessed, I'm blessed, you see, 'cause they say I come from the ghetto, I don't know any better, but the key to my success is see that I am blessed. They say I come from this hood, and I'm so misunderstood, but the key to my success, you see that I am blessed.
Wow. Yes, everybody. Yes.
Wow.
Man, early morning vocals, man.
You know, we got to tell you, we're featuring that piece by Ricky on a bunch of our programs. As many of you have heard, Pack Stereo is getting ready to go. 24-hour broadcasting. And the secret is, and I want Mac to know this and Leslie to know this especially, is that I'm actually been busting my butt to get ready for us to go live 24 hours on up to 6 platforms by somewhere like mid-July.
Yeah.
So, in other words, I'm technically designing and building frantically a way for us to come live with more programming for you 24 hours a day. 24 hours a day on up to 6 platforms.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely, man. I can actually see the wrath coming. Wrath of entertainment, media, information, alternative, indie as well. We're going to basically try to give you an alternative to looking at the future as it relates to seeing all forms of media communication of your choice, and then also support those who would love to brand and market themselves. So, you know, I'm full bore. I get to go naked.
Man.
Yeah, I get to go naked.
Okay, now y'all can come see it because they mean they might actually get to see the cock ring.
There you go.
And, you know, we're adding, there's been a lot of controversy about Victor's body ornaments. There's a lot of writings in on that.
I'm not going to, you know, and I'm watch this. Anybody that comes in and has to question that, it has to be a woman. And as long as there's no woman here that validated, it's all false. That's it. That's it.
All right. Well, we're still interesting stories of the day. One of the stories we thought was interesting to keep up is the crisis that's ongoing in our schools because of the budgets. You know, you guys, and what happens is when money gets tight, people get really tight about schools. Now, I don't have any children myself, at least not that I know of. At least not a direct line. Dad? Even though, you know, having joined the Gallon Club at the sperm bank, I'm sure that there are many of them running around out there. But the schools are very important to us, and so we want to thank Al Jazeera once again for doing this piece on the budget cuts that are threatening U.S. schools, Vic.
Okay. Let's
Man, the U.S. budget cuts, our schools.
Wow, this is going to be interesting.
Here's Al Jazeera. Fix the internet.
I'm trying to.
Can you fix the internet?
I'm trying. I think
Fix the fucking internet.
I got to go pay the bill.
What the hell's wrong with this goddamn internet?
A glimpse into a city where the future once looked bright for young generations. Entire buildings are reduced to rubble, and more closures and demolitions are still to come. A reform of the education system is underway in Detroit that could see another 32 schools shut down. A legal battle has started here. A glimpse into a city where the future once looked bright for young generations. Entire buildings are reduced to rubble, and more closures and demolitions are still to come. A reform of the education system is underway in Detroit that could see another 32 schools shut down. A legal battle has started here.
They're closing public schools, which are controlled by elected officials, and turning them over to private companies which run what are called charters, which are effectively private schools. What they are doing is destroying American public education in the name of saving a buck and in the name of making a buck.
Robert Bobb came to Detroit to reform a financially broke school system tainted by corruption. He is behind many of the closures, and he's being sued by the Detroit Public School Board. Anxious students follow the trial. 13-year-old Nikia says the outcome will shape her future.
and for him to attack, schools that are in neighborhoods that aren't doing so great, like with all the poverty and the poorness, and for him to take away education, like I said, that's the only thing that I have. It's disgusting.
Mr. Bob has argued that falling student enrollment and poor academic performance requires schools to be closed, sold, or demolished, and students to be relocated.
Vic, it's so interesting to watch, folks commenting on our problems. We're so used to commenting on the world from our distance, and now to watch Al Jazeera do a piece on budget cuts that are threatening U.S. schools.
The message I always see with this is you always see the corruption angle, always part of the capitalistic society we live in. It's more prominent, and you see that, and it seems like these are one of those situations where you would think there will be a call out to order, but it's not going to be. And to watch that teenager comment was I'm blown away when she could talk to that level at 13. At 13, you know what I was doing? Playing with dirt.
Playing with dirt. And then wait, let's go. When they weren't done, let's hear a little bit more.
Repeatedly tried to get an interview with Robert Ball, but his office never replied.
Let's see what they
The
had.
confidential document obtained by Al Jazeera shows that plans for one of the schools is a complete transfer of the students to an older building, since the school could be sold to a casino.
Wow.
This is the school mentioned in the document. It is very well known in the city for its academic excellence, and it's sad to see a sign posted by someone probably unaware of the plans for this school, where it says it's hopeful to enroll students for the next academic year.
Nearly 10,000 students will be affected by the upcoming changes. Davon, a top-ranking student, suspects his school will be turned into a charter or privately run school.
Don't succumb to that. I mean, it's wrong. Fight it.
He says a supermarket chain store has begun
The next academic year.
Nearly 10,000 students will be affected by the upcoming changes. Davon, a top-ranking student, suspects his school will be turned into a charter or privately run school.
Don't succumb to that. I mean, it's wrong. Fight it.
He says a supermarket chain store has begun teaching workshops in his school, displacing literature projects.
We have people in here that have big dreams of going to Harvard and being, bankers and doctors and things, not Walmart managers or creators. It was just crazy.
If more schools here close, this had an impact already. We see that the neighborhood
Obviously,
is... And you think this can happen? This can be replicated? I mean, is this a fear that it can become...
Oh, it will be replicated, and it will bring down the neighborhoods that are already struggling to just stay above water.
Castec High is graduating its class of 2010. But those who stay behind seem more subdued. The orchestra's director has been laid off, along with 33 other music teachers and the whole art department. It may well be the last time the famous band gets to play. Monica Villamizar, Al Jazeera, Detroit.
Wow. Well, we want to show you that piece. We want to thank Al Jazeera for showing that interest in what's going on in the inner city here in the United States. Some seems like so many of our elected officials are not as concerned.
No.
With that.
No. It's been a firestorm of what we call profit at all. How can I say this? Whatever it takes to establish a profit, even at the expense of our education, is being done, and that it's very endemic in our culture, especially for those who are minorities and living in areas that are poorish conditions. It's not cool. It's not cool.
Well, I want to remind you, you're listening to Morning Coffee with Mario, and we've been talking about pieces that we've received.